And thank you very much, Ken Workington. And once again, welcome everybody to a Saturday night edition of In the Sulky here at Meadowlands Racing and Entertainment. It's a special guest tonight. Olivia Kimelman joins me. It's always my pleasure to talk to her in a situation like that. She is representing the Harness Horse Youth Foundation tonight. Now, we'll get to that in just a minute, Olivia. But first, I have to ask you this. You know, have you recovered from the NCAA basketball tournament yet?
It was a little tough and definitely a heartbreaker, but I'm getting there.
Olivia studied animal science at the University of Kentucky and loves her Wildcats, so I had to get that out of the way. But
Go Cats.
What was that like there, studying out there in the middle of horse country?
It was really kind of a dream come true for anyone that likes horses, which I obviously do. You were never bored, whether it's a horse show, horse racing. You know, Grand Circuit was my favorite. I got to go to the harness track. But even Keeneland's gorgeous. You can't say enough good things about it.
Okay, you and the Harness Horse Youth Foundation go back a long way because you're not only a graduate of the camp, as am I, but you're now a trustee of the organization, so tell us how that happened.
So I came back to New York. I was talking to Ellen, and she kind of asked if I'd be interested in it. And, I mean, the camp gave me so much, so I can't think of a better way to give back to it. We've been working hard. The trustees this year are phenomenal. We're trying to get sponsorships. We have a lot of different levels. And being a camper, I feel like I'm able to bring my experiences with camp to the table, and we've really kind of revamped the camp schedule and how we're going about it all.
Okay, not everybody out there understands just what the HHYF is, the Harness Horse Youth Foundation. So give us a little idea of what the mission statement is.
So I'm not going to get it word for word, but essentially we are here to help educate the youth and their families and provide the information to help foster the next generation and make sure that they can come into this wonderful experience and stay with it.
Right, harness racing is fun. That's sometimes one thing that we forget to mention every once in a while. It is supposed to be fun. Now, I did read this where you said that your experience gained at that camp a few years ago was one of the most influential in your life. Explain that to us.
I mean, there's so many assets that go with it. They taught me to stand up and talk in front of people, to make friends. You know, you might not know them now, but you never know when they're going to come back around. And they introduced me to Lexington. The first time I went to Lexington was with them. I fell in love and said, I'm going to school here.
All right. I know we've got a picture of you at that camp many, many years ago. We say somewhere in the early 2000s. Hopefully we can get that up as well. But give us the scoop on some of the events coming up for the HHYF. I know you're about to kick off that summer camp schedule. Where are you going to go?
So the camp itself starts off in Ohio. We have a bunch of one-day camps out there, which should be pretty fun. We're literally all over Ohio with that. And then we go down to Delaware. We'll be at Harrington for 5 days, I want to say. And then from there, we'll be at Shenandoah Downs. And then we come back right around here to Gateway, and we have a bunch of one-day camps. Then we eventually go down to New York, and we have Goshen and Leadership, my personal favorite, right in my backyard. I try and get out there quite a bit. And then we will go have the Hambo Finals for all the camps that happened so far. And then we have Pocono Downs, and we wrap it up at Diamond Creek with a day camp.
Okay, so for the parents out there that might be interested in signing up their kids for one of these events, how do they do it? Where do they go?
You go to hhyf.org. It'll have all the information on camp, HHYF scholarships, really everything we offer, you can find out on there.
Now, horses have been in your blood, your family's blood, for a pretty long time here. What was it like to represent in the World Equestrian Games? I know it's a couple of years ago, but I'm sure you've got great memories of that event.
It was great. I loved it. There were 4 of us that went, and I mean, just you felt like you were in the spotlight. We got to wear colors, we were red, white, and blue, you know, representing harness racing for the U.S. I was a freshman in high school. I think that was my second time in Lexington, and it really it could not have been more magnificent.
Now, one thing I do know about you is you do get around. So you also attended one of those USTA driving schools around here. How much fun was that?
It was great. I was the youngest camper, I believe, that year. So I must have been, it was 14 or 16, however young you can be, I was the youngest camper, and it was, again, phenomenal.
All right, now you told me about your license situation. You have your trainer's license.
I do, and as soon as I get my eye exams handed in, I'll have my driver's too, so we'll see if I use it.
Okay, you've translated a lot of this horse knowledge into a career now in the veterinary business, Patterson Vet Supply. So tell us how that's going so far, how you got the job, and how much you like it.
So Patterson Veterinary is an equine distributor, or equine pharmaceutical distributor. So we sell basically any of your medical needs to the veterinarians, whether it be x-ray machines or actual medications themselves. They have a walk-in facility in Lexington, and a friend of my father's told me, go in. They might have internships. Check it out. And I did. I interned with them. I ended up working inside there. And just by luck, I graduated, and there was an opening for outside sales in New York, and I came right back on home, and here I am.
Okay, now you're still pretty young, so you've got a lot of career ahead of you. Any goals that you want to tell us about, whether they be in harness racing or not?
As far as my career goes, I really love my job. I just want to really become an ace at it. So just keep going, get my routine down. As far as harness racing goes, I've always had this little thing, like it goes with the whole trainer-driver thing. I'd love to do a little matinee race at Goshen one day. Like, it'll happen. I grew up on the backstretch there. I want to drive around that track.
I was going to say, what about here at the Meadowlands? The amateur series, at the very least, has attracted quite a big following, and we've now got some female drivers out there that are doing really good work. Jennifer Lappy and company.
Oh, yeah, no, I can dream, you never know.
Okay.
But I'm going to start with Goshen.
All right, start at Goshen, work your way up to the mile track. Remember, you go around
Right.
twice at Goshen, you only go
Right,
around once here at the Meadowlands.
once.
It's
I think I can handle it.
It's a little bit easier. And lastly, of course, your Mike is a good friend to all of us in the harness racing business. So tell us how he's doing and what's up in his life.
He is busy, busy, busy. He has a stable of about 12 horses now, a lot of 2-year-olds, one of which is partially mine. So I'm looking forward to that. But he has some really nice 2-year-olds, and I think we're going to see him a lot more come this summer.
Okay, is there any other part of the harness racing business that you would like to maybe try someday? Like, we're putting you on TV tonight. We're going to turn you into a superstar. You think you could do this for a living?
It's easy, right? I could do it. No, I'm just kidding. I really think if I can just make the time to be in the barn a little bit, I don't know at this point in the game that I'll really get to have a large chunk of my life be with it, but I go to as many big races as I can. I went to the Prix d'Amérique this year.
Wow.
So, I'd like to just kind of check off bigger races and maybe get that drive in, but nothing too major.
Okay, and the Harness Horse Youth Foundation, we'll wrap it up with that. Ellen Taylor does such a great job of being persuasive and teaching these kids. That's basically what it's all about, right? Getting kids involved with the horses, maybe some kids that don't necessarily get to have that involvement, with the animals.
Oh, yeah. It's great. It introduces you to the sport. We want you to have fun. We want you to be safe, and we want you to stay with it.
That's exactly right. That should be a motto for sure. Stay safe, be with it. So, Olivia, thanks so much for coming on with us and spending a little time tonight. We look forward to the camp here in New Jersey at Gateway Farm over the summer here, and I know we're going to see you around here at the Meadowlands a lot more often between now and Hamiltonian Day. So, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Olivia Kimelman, folks, from the Harness Horse Youth Foundation and many other things here in harness racing, are in the Sulky guest tonight. So it's time for a quick timeout. Dave Little will enter the co-host chair after this, and we will look at the 2 series finals tonight coming up next.